Boom. Good evening, friends. Dennis LaRue here with your hashtag steeltoesrequired quote of the week, episode 56. And for those of you keeping track, season 2, session episode number 4. And this week's quote is, I got the quote this morning. This is how powerful this quote was. What I had planned coming in changed completely from the quote that I got this morning. And it actually comes from Joel Osteen, author, pastor out at Lakewood Church there in Houston, H-Town. Not far down the road from me, about 3 hours. And I was listening to his broadcast this morning, his message, 30 minutes. But he said this. This was his quote, and it just blew me away. He said, "You're feeding your history or you're feeding your destiny, but you can't feed both." Hey, Jamie. Let me say that again. I want you to catch that quote again. Joel Osteen. You're feeding your history or you're feeding your destiny, but you can't feed both. And that really hit me, because those of you that know me, I know that I tell a lot of stories from the past, and I spend a lot of time in what Bruce Springsteen sings about, the glory days. Those glory days, those moments. For me, a lot of them are very positive. But for many of us, our history, we tend to remember the things that aren't so positive in our history. And so we spend a lot of time there with our thoughts. Hey, Diane, good to see you. We spend a lot of time in our thoughts with what we think about, because what we think about is what we bring about. Our thoughts lead to our actions. So here's what Joel Osteen is telling us. When we're thinking, if we're thinking about our history, we are taking away from our current position, current day. Hi, Diane. Good to see you. Glad you're taking time from your travels, Diane, to watch us. You're traveling all over the place. So thank you so much for taking some time here. When you're thinking about your past, Ed Reed, what's up, brother? When you're thinking about your past, when you're thinking about your history, you're taking away from the present and you're robbing your destiny. You're slowing it down. Now, I'm a person of faith, and I believe that you do have a destiny, and I believe it's going to come to pass. But if your focus always on your history, you're slowing down the train to get to your destiny. I believe that's what Joel Osteen's getting at, and that really got me thinking, what's going on, Bill? Glad you're watching as well. So, what's the story? First off, what's your story? What is your story? I've really been spending a lot of time with that. Bill just a minute ago put a like out there. And I've been spending time in Bill Finley's group, the Belief Hackers, in their 21-day challenge. And we have been asking ourselves in this 21-day challenge, attacking our limiting beliefs and defining what our story is. And so my question to you is what is your story? What's the story? Is your story constantly in the history books? Jim Crothers, what's going on? Eric, I'm sorry I'm not wearing the orange, but I am wearing something different. I'm wearing my hockey sweater from my Air Force days. No, I didn't play hockey. It was just what we used in Korea to identify our unit. And this was something that a friend designed, and I liked it better than the softball jersey, so I got the hockey sweater. Anyway, back to the story. So, speaking of history, just shared some with you. So, history. That's good, Eric. We need to set up time to share our stories. But going backwards in history, do you spend time in history all the time? See, the point of history isn't just to learn facts and figures and dates and things about our different nations and cultures. We do need to learn those, but it's learning the lessons from history so we don't repeat negative history, right? So here we are today. What's your story? What's your history? What's your story today? And what's your destiny? What is your destiny? Have you spent time thinking about that? You've been given an imagination. So use it. Because where you spend your thoughts right now today determines if you're stuck in history or if you're progressing to your destiny. I don't know about you, but I want to reach my destiny. I want to be in that moment that I was created for not just today, but tomorrow and the next day, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 50 years from now, fulfilling that calling and that purpose to be in my sweet spot and to never leave it. And there's that moment. I really believe I'm going to know when that moment is, because we all have it and we're all unique. You're unique. So what is it about you that is unique? Here's a challenge for you this week. As you're thinking about moving towards your destiny, maybe you're struggling with that. Let's just start with where you are today. And we're all unique. What makes you unique? What are things? Hey, Holly. Hey, Mom. Glad you're there. What makes you unique? What are those gifts, talents, abilities that make you stand out more than anybody else? And ask somebody. Now, this is a challenge that we've talked about before. Bill is spot on. Purpose, calling, destiny. Life is not a dress rehearsal. Lights on, curtains up, action. That's right. We're on stage. Life is a stage, right? But we're not just merely players. We're not in the audience to enjoy everybody else's performance. This is your performance. This is your time. This is your season. This is your act and scene. Cameras, action, roll them. What's the film that you're performing in? What is your stage? You're the director of your performance. You're also the lead actor or actress in your performance. And also, you determine who the supporting actors and actresses are. This is your time for an Emmy-winning performance. What are you going to do? What's your story? What's your destiny? And are you taking action steps towards it? And it all starts with, where's your thinking? If your thinking is in history, if your thinking is in those limited beliefs that says you're not worthy, you don't deserve, I can't, I won't, I don't, I shouldn't, I couldn't, then you're not going to get there. So you've got to leave history. Leave history where it is. If it's written on the page, leave it there. It's time to let it go. Let go of history. Have you learned the lessons from history? If you haven't, you're doomed to repeat it. But I'm believing right now that those of you that are watching this, that are going to take the time to listen to this, to read the blog, you've already gotten the nuggets out of history. The things that went well and went right, and also the things that didn't, and learned from those moments that didn't. So we're here today. What are you doing right here, right now, in your thinking to progress you to your destiny? Because again, I'm with Joel Osteen on this. You're feeding your history or you're feeding your destiny, but you can't feed both. Who are you feeding? Which story are you feeding? History or destiny? I'm feeding destiny. That's my focus. What's your focus? What's your destiny? What's your calling? What's your purpose? And I'm with you, Eric. Eric's ready for his close-up. That's right. Are you ready for your close-up? Because the makeup's already been put on. Daniel Gomez, what's going on, man? Congratulations on the book and everything that you're doing out there. Man, I'm watching. Love it. And Mom, you're right. You're not boring, that's for sure. You see, this is your time. This is your moment. You were made for this moment. You were made for tomorrow. You were made for the next day. And your destiny is right here in the palm of your hand. And it starts right here. So, What are you going to do to get there? What are you going to do? What thoughts do you need to drop right now that are not serving you? What are these limiting beliefs that are telling you that you can't get to where your destiny is? Because you got to let them go. You've got to let them go. And I know that's easier said than done. I'm working on my own. As a matter of fact, my challenge with Bill and our Belief Hacker Nation is I need to write an obituary for my limiting beliefs today, which I'm doing right after this. Let me ask you this. Your limiting beliefs, if you were to write an obituary of them, what would it be? What would you say? I challenge you. I challenge you to go check out beliefhacker.org, get into the next 21-day challenge, and work on those limiting beliefs. But for now, you need to identify a limiting belief because that is keeping you in history, not destiny. So get one today. I'm challenging you right now. Write down one limiting belief that stands out right now. What's the first one that came to your mind that is holding you back? I want you to write that down. Write it down. If you have to leave this to do that, do it because it's important. There's a reason it came to your mind. I want you to write that down because you've got to attack that this week. Because in order to get to your destiny, you've got to cut the limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs limit you from reaching your destiny. It's dead weight. It is dead weight that you've got to shed. You've got to cut it loose. You're climbing up a mountain, and you can't climb up a mountain with 250 pounds in your rucksack. You've got to cut it loose. So cut loose that excess baggage. Cut loose that excess thoughts that are keeping you grounded and moving slowly. Because as you hack away at each of those limiting beliefs, you're going to actually climb uphill faster. I believe that. Number 33, Amy. Go Sox. I'm rooting for your Sox. I think they'll close them out. That's my call. I said it, Sox in 5. So there it is. There it is. For those of you just joining in, here's the quote again from Joel Osteen. He said, quote, "You're feeding your history or you're feeding your destiny, but you can't feed both." You can't feed them both. So choose today to let go of history, learn its lessons, and progress to your destiny. And it starts today. It starts right now. That is the charge for you. And it starts with your thoughts. So let go of those limiting beliefs that are impacting your actions. Because where your thoughts are, where your energy goes, that's where your actions are. And you may believe and you may know your destiny, but if you're stuck thinking about the past, thinking about the objects in the rearview mirror, you're not progressing. You're regressing from your destiny. And that's your steel toes. That's the quote that just impacted me this morning, and I wanted to share that with you. I hope that added value to you. And let's see, Jamie, I can't read it all. I think for moms, a lot of times they're more concerned about everyone else's story, dreams, and future. Yes, absolutely. And I see my mom is responding. Awesome. Love the engagement. So with that, this week, folks, take charge of your destiny by dropping the battery. There it is. And Jamie posted the blog that goes with this, DennisLaRue.org. Index, there it is. You see it in the comments. Just click on that. Enjoy the blog. There's some things in it that were not shared here. So please enjoy and read. And I hope this adds value to you. And please reach out to me. If you have any questions or any thoughts, this has stirred up something in you that you need a wingman to work through, let me be that wingman for you. Just send me a private message, or you can email me at Dennis LaRue, the email there, DennisLaRue.org, and we can make that happen. info@DennisLaRue.org. Email me, and we'll set up a time, and we'll help you sort through these things. Anyway, with that said, let's close this session with my favorite part, the blessing. The blessing. I pray the blessing of bread that you know no hunger. I pray the blessing of salt, that your life would be full of flavor, but also that you would be flavorful in other people's lives. And that the blessing of wine, that joy and prosperity would be yours, and that the love of God would be your portion this day and forevermore. Thank you for joining me this week on hashtag steeltoesrequired. Thank you, Jamie, for posting the links and the emails. I look forward to more comments and interaction in this and hearing more about you pursuing your destiny. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Have a great week. And I am out. Take care. Bye for now.